And the final pillar is kind of circling all the way back to where we started with MDM strategy, which is the business problem and the value of solving that problem, right? And so the last pillar of your MDM strategy is measurement. And measurement is, okay, I said at the beginning, I have this problem that I want to solve for, and I estimate that it's causing me X dollars worth of issues or challenges or pain. And ideally, you could quantify it in dollars, but you could also measure, the number of customer records that are of poor quality, or the time it's taking to onboard a new product that we want to take to market, or the number of errors we have on our website related to product information, et cetera. So measurement comes back to proving the value of the program. And when you go talk to an industry analyst, they'd say that today a small minority of MDM programs are actually measuring or defining the measurements they're going to track up front and maintaining measurement through those over time. Now, we can obviously help from a technology perspective, help you from a technical perspective instrument those measurements. But as an organization, you have to actually sit down and think through what are we going to measure and how do we prove value of the program.
Yeah, and those measurements are ultimately the return on the investment that the company's going to get from this initiative. Without any measurement like that, you really don't know whether you're delivering actual value in either the stewardship experience or in data quality terms. I mean, you just don't know how far you're moving towards your goals.
Well, right. I mean, with no measurement, you really also have a situation where it's very hard to tune that system, right? If I don't know how much time somebody's spending on cleansing records every week, then it's very hard for me to know if I've adjusted my matching strategies the right way, where I'm doing enough auto-approve or I'm doing this stuff. I don't know when I'm having false positives or false negatives. I don't understand what my issues are, right? If I just set the system in motion and then step back, but don't have any of this measurement, I'm really not getting the effect, right? Because any of these projects, it's much better if you have an iterative design where I have the measurements, I can see what's going on. And also within the organizations, there is so much money that's going to be spent on these ad hoc services, whether it's Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, any of these services where I'm being charged for that stuff. If I don't understand and measure how I'm using those services and making sure that I'm getting value out of those things, I can spend a whole lot of money on stuff that nobody's actually looking at. And that would just be a travesty.
Well, the thing that I think is important to remember is that business doesn't stand still. There's constant change going on in the systems we're working on. Forget MDM just for a second. All those other ancillary systems that generate a lot of this data and operate the business being operated in, they're changing all the time too. The data quality that comes into them is changing. The business processes are changing, and so without that finger on the pulse, how could you know whether you're going off in a different direction, right? If your performance starts to degrade, you can't wait until the end of the quarter for your financials to tell you that. We would want to know that now because we can track the onboarding process for a customer and see it's actually diverging from our pattern or from our standards.
Absolutely.